So good morning. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at CSL Redlands, and it's a joy and pleasure and privilege to be facilitating this morning's meditation. Just inviting you in the sanctuary and those watching remotely to become still and in a safe place, mindful of your posture and your breathing. And if you wish to allow for the outer eyes to gently close, you may do so. Let's take some deep breaths in together. We release everything that's preceded this moment. And on the inhale in the divine breath, the divine breath. And we exhale out anything that does not match that divine breath. And we inhale in the divine breath. And we exhale out anything that's remaining that does not match that perfect divine breath. And as we return to our normal breathing, we consider, are we breathing the divine, or is the divine breathing us? Deep breaths in. Easy exhales out. If you choose, contemplate the idea, I am divinely powered. I am divinely powered. I am divinely powered. Powered by the divine. I am 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 powered I am powered by the divine. I am powered by the divine. I am divinely powered. Divine source energy is my fuel. Divine source energy is my fuel. Divine source energy fuels me. I am abundantly supplied and maintained. I am abundantly supplied and maintained. I am abundantly supplied and maintained. My intuition guides me always. My intuition guides me always. My intuition guides me in all ways. So allow for your breathing to return with gratitude, each breath, gratitude. Even more gratitude with each breath. Even more gratitude. Just allow for your heart space to continue to fill with gratitude. And gently and slowly we bring our awareness back to this very moment in time. Using your breathing to bring your awareness back to the body temple, complete and full. You may want to make certain you can feel the chair beneath you. Just wiggle about for a second. Tap the toes if you're willing to the ground. You can touch the fingertips together. When you're ready, just simply and slowly and gently allow the outer eyelids to open. As we become aware of the space and this place and this very moment in time. And how good it is to be together in this knowing that we've been spiritually tuned up. That concludes our morning meditation. Grateful to each of you I am. Namaste.
Are tuned up. Tune. Good morning, everybody. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 Yeah, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Welcome.
Here's Joe.
Thank you, Al and Gilman. So good to have Al with us again, and we always love Gilman. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Redlands. My name is Joe Nelson, and I am a past board member here. Our center is an open and inclusive community that honors all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you are here with us for the first time, please raise your hand. We may greet you. Welcome. Welcome. Brother Mark here will have some information for you. We are so happy to have you with us in person for our service today, and we are grateful for your presence. If you are joining us remotely, thank you for being with us this morning. Welcome and enjoy our service.
So just a little music here to set up the opening prayer. Get you into that reflective space where you're open to receive today's message. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. To me. To me.
Here's Brother Mark.
And so how beautiful, Al, that was. If you want to do another bar or two, I would love it. Would you want to, if you're moved?
I send my peace
Feel that.
over the mountains.
Just take that in with your breath.
I send my peace.
We are energy beings, and so we can indeed send our peace over the sea.
Over the sea.
Just breathe it in,
I send my peace.
breathe it out.
Into the heavens,
We send our energy now to the heavens.
and it returns to me.
And so we call forth the ancestors, everybody who's paved a way for us to have this breath. And let's breathe that in together now. We'll take in the divine breath. And we exhale out the divine breath. We inhale in the divine breath. And we exhale out that divine breath. Is it breathing us, or are we breathing it? And so I declare the omnipresence of God, of good, of life, of the universe, which created me and you perfect, whole, and complete. I speak my word from this platform of unity and unification and oneness. Where indeed, right where I am, God is. Indeed, right where you are, God is. And if you would be comfortable saying that together out loud with me. Right where I am, God is. Right where I am, God is. Right where I am, God is. And it is from this place of unity and oneness that I speak a word of blessing for the continued unfoldment of today's celebration service to just unfold with ease and with grace, with the beautiful music, the energetic, that's a healing. It allows for our consciousness to be fertile ground in that soil that Al spoke of, that will allow for a shift, a manifestation, a demonstration, a realization for our highest and best good. This is what I know to be true, and so I know that everybody within the sound of my voice is open, even more open now than they were prior, to what looks like a miracle and in spirit seems ordinary. And so for whatever it is in your soul that's this day brought you here, it is yours. Spirit makes it so always. Nothing's ever withheld from you for your highest and best good. It's for our willingness to allow it. So if you're willing to allow it, just say, I am allowing it now. Just feel that. Say it out loud. I am allowing it now. I am allowing it now. I am allowing it now, as long as it's for my highest and best good. And so where there's war, let us see in our mind's eye peace. Where there are people fleeing their country, let us see safe travel and passage. Where there is need anywhere, let us see it fulfilled, whether it's for food or shelter, for money, for medications, for supplies. Let's see good and divine good indwell each leader. See that. Let's expect that. Let's expect the truth with the capital T to always be revealed, always have its full sway. And anything and everything that is heretofore blocked or hindered, deferred, denied, or delayed, the highest expression, for each of us individually and for all of us collectively, let it slip away back to the nothingness from where it came and instead be replaced with the truth. God is. God is. God is. It's only perfect God, perfect man, perfect me, perfect you. Will you be willing to accept that today? I'm going to see you that way. I'm going to know you that way. It's definitely how Spirit, how God sees you, perfect, whole, complete, nothing missing, lacking, needing, nor wanting. You are a masterpiece in the eyes of the divine. And so how good it is to speak this word and to know the truth. I bless our spiritual leader and senior minister, Reverend Carrie. I know today she rocks the house for the highest and best good of all who are willing to listen. And no matter what is said, there's possibility for this revelation and transformation, because that's within your control. And so I call it forth. And I know that two or more are gathered, and we have said yes. Are you saying yes with me? Yes. To the highest and best good for each of us individually and the world collectively. Anything that may have been omitted from this prayer is not omitted from Spirit, and so allow for your own prayers to be answered right here and right now. Let's breathe in a grateful heart together again with gratitude and praise and thanksgiving. Gratitude for this breath, gratitude for our life. I'm in great gratitude for the ability to speak this word and to know the truth. I declare my word to the law of life, knowing indeed it is fulfilled. And now it's my job just to walk around with great expectancy that it's true, that it's so, that it's done, that it's mine, that it's yours, right here, right now, and forevermore. And so it is. Whoa. So good morning again. Today's wisdom reading is from the text, The Science of Mind. Have you heard of it? And if you want to pick one up, we have it available in our bookstore. Just ask right after service. It's from page 342. The intelligence in an animal which directs its actions and tells it where to go to find food and shelter, we call instinct. It is really omniscience in the animal. The same quality, more highly developed, makes a conscious appearance in humanity and is what we call intuition. Intuition is God in each person, revealing to them the realities of being, and just as instinct guides the animal, so would intuition guide us if we would allow it to do so. All arbitrary control of mankind must have stopped as soon as they came to a point of self-knowingness. From this point, each person must discover themselves, but intuition, which is nothing less than God in us, silently awaits our recognition and cooperation. The Spirit is always with us if we would but sense its presence.
Just wanted to say this is one of my favorite Al Yankee songs, and I like it so much that I told him we need to slow that down so that everybody can savor every word.
Thoughts are beginning, magical start. It sets events spinning, whirling out from your heart. Everything traded, bartered or bought, each thing that's created began as a thought. Well, thoughts are things, things are thoughts. Ideas have wings to soar aloft, dreams and wishes unconfined. Mind matters, matter minds. Imagine a world, that's all it takes. Picture an ocean, sparkling rivers and lakes. Envision an Eden, hold it close in your mind. Believe that it's real. Here's what you'll find: a beautiful pearl floating in space, a place of abundance filled with love's sweet embrace. One vibrant creation, feel the joy of it all. Sense the inner connection of all things, great and small. Thoughts are things, things are thoughts. Ideas have wings to soar aloft, dreams and wishes unconfined. Mind matters, matter mind. From the least of ideas to the greatest abstractions, the universe acts on beliefs and reactions. As within, so without, as above, so below. We move beyond doubt. Know what we know, that thoughts are things, things are thoughts. Ideas have wings to soar aloft, dreams and wishes unconfined. Mind matters, matter minds. Well, thoughts are things, things are thoughts. Ideas have wings to soar aloft, dreams and wishes unconfined. Mind matters, matter minds.
Al Yankees. Here's Reverend Carrie.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Al, for that wonderful song. That's an original, correct? And that's on your CD, right? Oh, right. So he just happens to have a trunk full, so you can you can see him after service for a copy of his CD. It's so good to see everyone here this morning. Thank you all for being here. I want to take a moment for us to thank our David, who does all the wizardry back there to make sure that we can see and hear, and it's wonderful. Thank you, Gilman, for all that you do for us as well. It takes a village to make this happen, and I'm really grateful for all of that. So this month in August, our theme is pausing for guidance. So we're just taking a pause, pushing the pause button. And today we're talking about our inner GPS. Our inner GPS. How many of you use your GPS on your phone or in your car? It's pretty almost normal anymore for us to use our GPS to find our way from here to there. Back in the olden days, when I was calling square dances, I would be driving at night, finding a place that I'd never been to before. And in the olden days, before GPS, there was the Thomas Guide, and it was my best friend. And then when I got the GPS on my phone, I was thrilled. I plugged in the address and off I went. And this one night, I was driving into the city someplace. I don't know. I called all over Southern California. I don't know which city it was now, but I do remember that I got to that area and realized that I had been there before. And so I decided that I was going to be able to find my way to the hall where I was supposed to be. Well, I went down the street that I was positive it was on, and then I couldn't find it. It wasn't there. So I turned around and I went back to where I felt rather familiar there. And so I went down another street and I came back around the block and I went down that street again and I couldn't find it. And it was getting later and later and later, so I needed to get there at a particular time. So I pulled my car over to the curb, turned the GPS back on, and of course, she guided me to the hall with no problem. That was the night. That was the night when I realized that I needed to get out of my own way about finding where I needed to be, and to allow myself to trust the GPS. Then on the way home, I realized that I have an inner GPS. We all have it. It's that voice of God within us. It's a still small voice, sometimes described as that still small voice. Well, sometimes it's a loud, booming voice that says, no, you need to do this. I don't know how many times I have heard that voice and followed it. And I don't know also how many times I've heard that voice and said, nah, I don't need to do that. Have any of you? Was it just me? You know? The thing is, we need to become conscious of that inner voice, of that inner GPS, that intuition that guides us forward. If we allow our intuition to guide us in almost everything we do, well, in everything we do, actually, then we'll find ourselves living a life that is more flowy. It has a flow to it. And we find ourselves living a life of peace and tranquility because we're moving in a guided way to the next thing, the next place we need to be. Some years ago, there was a minister, her name was Iris, and she was telling me that she was wondering about whether she wanted to start a church near her home. And she was praying about it, and she talked to me about it, and we didn't know about visioning at that time. So there was a lot of pondering, a lot of thinking about this, and she thought about it so much that she kind of got herself into a turmoil about whether to make the decision to start her church or not. And in her prayer one evening, she said, "God, please just show me a sign what I'm supposed to do." And you know, we all know that God always says yes. Yes? Okay. So she went about her life, released that prayer as much as she could. But you know, when we get in that place, we want to know what's going to happen. We want to know the next step. We want to know what's around the next corner. Well, she was the same. And so she did her best to release that prayer. And then she and her husband were driving to a meeting one evening, and she was explaining to him what she had been doing about her prayers and her wondering and all of that, and about whether she should open her own church near their home. And as they rounded a corner, there was a large, huge billboard. And the message on the billboard said, "Do it now. The world is waiting for you." She did open her church. She followed the direction on that sign. She opened her church, and it was quite successful for a very long time. Sometimes, you know, we look for signs in other ways, like a street sign, or maybe just an idea of what we should do next. And sometimes we allow ourselves to think, well, maybe I don't need to look for a sign. Maybe I'll just know the next thing to do. Yeah. Well, you see, when we are looking for those signs, sometimes we just don't see them because we get in our own way, just like I did that night going to that hall, that square dance hall. And I realized, too, that when we do get in our own way, it's a chance for us to get out of the way, so that we can more abundantly move forward in life. Ernest Holmes says this: "There is an intuition within you that already knows that you are one with good, that your destiny is certain, and you must listen to this intuition, for it is the voice of God within you." It is the voice of the divine within us that we get to listen to. And I've been experimenting with this in the last few weeks or so. I've been experimenting with the idea that I could eat intuitively. Because there, for a while during COVID, I don't know about you guys, but I'm probably the only one that just ate everything in sight because I was bored to death. And so I gained a few pounds, and so I'm working on taking them off. But I heard somewhere or read somewhere that if we listen to our intuition, it will tell us what to eat next. Oh, okay. And what I'm finding is that my intuition is always right about the next thing to eat. And how much fun is that? It's so easy. Oftentimes our mind, our ego mind, will want to tell us to do something different. Like Iris and her church, our ego mind might say, no, you don't want to do that. Maybe you could open a school or be an artist or something like that. And sometimes when the ego mind gets in the way, what it does is it edges God out. Wayne Dyer teaches that, or taught us that. EGO, edging God out. And what happens is that means that we're not allowing ourselves to really feel the full impact of what that voice within us is telling us. So it's time. It's time for us to use our intuition. Using our intuition comes in handy too when we're out and about and we see someone that might look like they need a little assistance. We might see someone who's having a little trouble in the grocery store opening those very frustrating plastic bags at the produce section. And once in a while, it's a good idea to, if you get one open, to hand it to someone and say, here, would you like this? Or can I help you with that cart? Do you need help loading your groceries? You know, just some little intuitive thing might guide you to help that person. And you've made a difference in their day. And you've made a difference within yourself because you followed the guidance. And that guidance then has brightened you up. It brightens our light in order to be more involved in life and to be more of the divine that we already are. Yeah. In the New Thought Dictionary, it says intuition is an inner awareness of spiritual truths without conscious process of thought. It's an inner awareness of spiritual truths without conscious process of thought. We already know it. We know it's the perfect thing for us to do if we follow that intuitive thought. And we can also allow ourselves to be directed, if we will let it, and we can allow ourselves to stay where we are in our circumstances. If you think about that word, it's like we have this circle and we stand in the middle of it. And we can look around and see what we've created in our environment. Circumstance. And when we look around and we see what we've created, perhaps we could change what we've been thinking so that we can create something else. Just like in the song that Al sang, mind matters, matter minds. It minds us. When we think a thought, it brings those things to us. It brings all that we have around us into our life. And so if we find ourselves in a place that doesn't feel right and doesn't look quite right, and we really want to change it, what's the first thing we need to do? Is change our thought about who and what we are. Because who and what we are is the divine. We are the infinite presence of God. We are it. And we are here to express the divine in a more opulent way so that our life can become even more amazing and more fulfilling and more filled up with all of the good that is in the universe. You see, we have been created to express God, to express the divine, And then we create so that we can see what we are. We can see where we are in consciousness. So if we don't really like where we are physically, if we're not real fond of what's going on around us, we can change that by changing our consciousness, by changing the idea that we don't deserve something, that we're not worthy of something, because your intuition will tell you that you are deserving of every good thing. Do you believe that this morning? Yes. Absolutely. You are deserving of every good thing. All right, I have another story of a friend of mine. I've known her for years. She recently told me of a choice that she made when her husband decided to leave her and create a new life for himself with one of her friends. Ouch. So she kept hearing this intuitive voice within her telling her to move to the town where her children lived. And it just kept telling her and just kept telling her, and she kept saying, no, I don't really want to do that. You know, I've lived in my home for 25 years. I have a lovely circle of friends. I'm active in my community. I don't want to leave. But something within her kept telling her that that was the right move to make. Well, she chose to stay where she was. That was fine. We are always at choice, right? Absolutely. So then her inner GPS began to recalculate the route. Have you ever heard your GPS tell you that? Recalculating route. I swear to goodness that I made my GPS in the beginning recalculate the route so many times that I could actually hear this impatience in the voice of the GPS. Recalculating route. Yeah, we tend to do that. And my friend, she was fine for several years, but then she was caught up in a layoff. She was laid off from her teaching job, and things began to go downhill financially for her. And it took her a little while to really understand that she was not in a great place, and she became ill, physically ill, which can happen to us when we're in that wrong circumstance. So she turned within for guidance and talked to me a little bit, and then heard that intuitive voice, God within. It was nudging her to go live in the same town as her children and now grandchildren. So she made the move. She found a place to live. She found work as a teacher, and she had plenty of time to play with her grandchildren and spend time with her children. It was a great move. But you see, she kind of got in her own way there at the beginning, but then she followed that intuitive guidance. What I know for sure this morning is that when we follow that intuition within us, we can't go wrong. We're not going to be guided into danger, I don't believe. Of course, it's done unto us as we believe. So if you're thinking that our intuition is going to guide you into some sort of a dangerous situation, change that belief. I invite you to do that immediately. Because that's not what we are here to do. We are here to express the divine, to enjoy this time on earth. I forget the name of the teacher, but I explained this last week. She told us that this is the party planet. We're here to have a good time. We're here to learn and grow in consciousness. So I invite us all to do this intuitive following. Be a follower of your inner GPS. Trust that it's guiding you in the right direction. And so this week, I'm going to invite us all to follow that inner guidance that we're given. Follow it and see what happens. Allow your intuition to guide you in every moment and just see what happens. Look for signs within yourself. Like Iris looked for a sign and got a billboard. And so we could probably do that, but all we really need to do is look for that inner sign that says, do this. This is the next turn. This is the right way to go. And you need to, in order to do this, you need to stop for a moment. You need to pull over to the curb and just say, okay, I trust my inner GPS. Yeah, we just need to stop for a moment. It's taking time to stop, just being there, look within, and listen for the guidance, and then follow it. So that's our spiritual practice for this week, to stop, look, and listen. Stop what we're doing, turn within, and listen for the guidance. Our affirmation for this week is, I hear the still small voice of the divine expressing its love through me. And you see, what's happening is when we hear that intuitive voice, that's love talking to us. That's pure, unconditional love saying, this is the next thing to do. Now, doesn't that feel good to you? To think that love is talking to us, is telling us, is helping us move forward to the next thing? Yeah. Okay, so that's our affirmation. So I'll say a little bit and then you folks can say. I hear the still small voice of the divine expressing its love through me. I listen, I take action, and so it is. Yes, namaste.
So, thank you, Reverend Carrie. This is one of my favorite Rodgers and Hammerstein songs, but I just kind of felt like it needed a little update, Jamaica style. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you never walk alone. You never walk alone. Walk on, whistling a happy song through the wind. Walk on, splashing through the puddles in the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, let me hear the muzzled children say, walk on, see me smiling on another day. With hope, all our troubles gonna go away. In your heart, keep a song in your follow every rainbow till you find your dream. Yeah, follow every dream. Thank you. Now we have some announcements. Here's Joe.
Hello again. So next Sunday, we will have an important guest speaker who is our first candidate for our senior minister position. Reverend Michael Heinley from the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living has applied and has been asked to speak and conduct a 1-hour workshop following service. Be certain to be present in person or online so your comments may be included in our search process. Tomorrow evening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Zoom, the Centers for Spiritual Living Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee is hosting a conversation and wisdom sharing with the youth of our movement entitled Voices of Youth, What Faith Matters to Me. What Faith Means to Me, sorry. There will be a short video by the Oakland CSL Youth and Youth Panel focusing on what faith means to them. If you are interested in joining the Zoom event, please contact Reverend Carrie for details. On Monday, September 13th, the new class, The Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment, begins. This is an 8-week class from 7 to 9:30 p.m. on Monday evenings. You can pick up a flyer over there on the table and complete a class registration form, which you will find on the table that I just pointed out. And speak with Reverend Carrie here for further information. Our Wednesday night service continues with licensed practitioner Renee Hart, who leads us in a lovely meditation and shares her weekly inspirational message. Attend with Facebook Live at facebook.com/cslredlands.org. Once again, facebook.com/cslredlands.org. Or our YouTube, you can tune in on YouTube as well, each Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Be sure to encourage everyone you know to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Reverend Carrie and our practitioners are available after service each Sunday if you wish to talk to them. If you are watching on Facebook Live this morning, message us with your request to speak to someone, and we will connect with you, even if you just want to ask a question or have a conversation about the morning message. You are invited to join us after service today for food and fellowship time. Thanks for joining us in person this morning in our sanctuary, and thanks to everyone who has connected with us this morning on Facebook Live and YouTube. Remember to watch our Wednesday night services too. Have a wonderful week.
Here's Reverend Carrie.
Right. We were at the point of our service where we take up the offering. And so I'm going to invite you to think about all of the good that you receive at this center, and then give according to your inner GPS. And just to allow yourself to really know and understand that your financial gift to this center allows us to continue operating, and it allows us to spread this message out into the larger community. And when we give, we know that we also receive. You can give using Facebook and our website. You can press on the Donate Here button on those two places. You can also give using Venmo and Zelle, PayPal, or you can write a check, and you can also give us a little cash. So $100 bills are accepted. All right. Just kidding. Not. All right. We're going to repeat our offering affirmation this morning. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully and gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully and freely. God is a river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive.
Thank you, Gilman, and thank you, everyone. We're going to take a moment to bless these gifts. And so as we know that these gifts have come from the infinite through us, I know that every gift that has been given this day, that has been given online in previous days and days to come, I know all of these gifts are blessed. And I know that it prospers each person who has given to know that the law of circulation is working in their life, that the law of opulence and flow and affluence is already a part of our life process. I know this is true for this center. I know that every gift is a blessing, and I know that every giver is blessed and is a blessing. And so I know that as these gifts go forward to do their greater work, we bless it all and know that it is done perfectly and completely. And so we let it be as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, gentlemen. It's now time for our closing healing prayer. And so I'm going to invite you to just think of perhaps a prayer request that might be on your heart this morning. I thought of one as as Brother Mark. I want to call him Reverend. I thought of one this morning as Brother Mark was saying his opening prayer, that I want healing for my hands. And so I invite you to just bring forward that prayer request that's on your heart, and we'll just take a moment to be in the silence so that you can bring that forward and whisper it out if you wish. And so we know that the presence and the power of that is that infinite divinity, God, the universal presence. We know that this presence is the power that is our life, that is as we express through the world. I know that this infinite presence is everywhere throughout the universe. It's right here at the center of us, and it stretches out into infinity and back again. It is that presence and power in which we live and move and have our being. It is that presence into which we speak these words of prayer this morning. I know each one of us is created by that infinite perfection and power and grace. And as we are created from that image and likeness, I know that each of us is a divine presence of that infinite, infinite love, absolute peace, perfect joy. And so I give thanks for our unity in this moment, knowing that we are all expressions of the divine. And so in this unity, I speak my word to know for each of us that we are blessed with a heightened awareness of our inner GPS, our inner intuition that guides us forward. We are blessed with an abundance consciousness that allows us to live and move in affluence, to live and move in that place where all substance and supply is already ours. And I know that this prayer is true for not only us, but for everyone that we know, even people that we don't know. I know and speak my word for every person who may have a healing that they wish to have happen, be it physical, mental, spiritual. I know that whatever needs healing in this moment is already taking place. The healing on the physical level allows our bodies to operate in full and complete efficiency. And where there is pain, we release that pain out into the universe. And I know for each of us that might be in an emotional need of prayer, of healing, we simply know that every aspect of our life is already being healed in this moment. Every upset, every place of non-forgiveness, every place of feeling that we have been wronged, all of that now is released out into the universe. Released and replaced with unconditional love, complete and deep forgiveness of ourselves and all people around us. And I speak my word to know for every person who is not afforded shelter, that they are guided by their inner GPS to that perfect shelter that is exactly the right place for them at this moment in their life. And I give thanks for each of us who are sheltered here in this building. And I know that as we move forward in our time here in this center, that we are blessed. And I know that this center attracts all of those who wish to be healed and blessed and uplifted into a greater knowing of that God consciousness that is the truth of who they are. And I know that this Center for Spiritual Living right here is attracting the perfect new minister to take this church into the future, to take this church into a new expression of unconditional love, into a new expression of increased vitality and consciousness and energy and joy, abundance and peace, and all of the good that is God is helped being created by the attraction of our perfect new minister. I give thanks. I give thanks for that. I give thanks for this perfect day and for all that is about to be revealed to each of us as we move through this day and all of the days to come. And I know that each one of us is whole and perfect and complete, and guided by that inner wisdom that allows us to live abundantly. So I give thanks for all of this and for so much more. And in this gratitude, I release my word into the law, into that infinite creative law of life. And I know that it is already done. And we see the manifestation of it right here and right now. And so we let it be as we joyfully say together, and so it is. Before we move into our closing song, I just want to remind us all that next Sunday is a very important Sunday for our center. We have our first candidate coming, and so please be sure to be here and have yourself ready to give us your comments so that we can take good care of this candidating process. All right, our closing song.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. This is what you have to say. I release, I let go, let the Spirit run my life. I let the Spirit run my life. Heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Al Yankee on the keyboards. We'll see you next week.